the same as last year. I'm assuming it was the same as. That's good, that's good.
I'll go ahead and call the meeting order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Did everybody have a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting?
I'll make a motion to accept.
I will second.
Moved by Dave, seconded by Nicole. Give me 1 second. So I just wanted to double check on the minutes. Under Armory Lighting, it says Commissioner Evans made the motion to approve the application for the grant and accept the bid and quote, if the grant is awarded. Is that the way that it was?
It should have been amended.
Yeah, it should have been amended.
Under Armory Lighting Project Estimate and Grant. There's a note on there, if grant is not approved, we'll look at options to move forward, but it wasn't part of the motion, so then it's not official. Okay. So we have been moved and seconded with changes.
What are you going to change then?
You would move, if grant is not approved, we'll look at options to move forward, or was it moved forward?
It was, if
It
the
was to
grant,
be moved forward, because we had to do it anyway, right?
right. It was supposed to check into the grant and what qualifications we needed for the grant. And if we didn't qualify for the grant, then we were going to move ahead and do it.
Yes,
So
that's the way I understood it.
Okay.
that's how I understood it.
Yes, because right now it's just saying that you look at the grant, accept the bid if the grant is awarded. So if the grant wasn't awarded, then it wouldn't move forward. Correct.
You might have forgotten. I just remembered it now, so I'll get that to you.
Okay. So with those changes, are we approving?
I'll still approve it, or I'll still make the motion.
And second?
I will second that.
Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Next item is the presentation of the bills. Any questions?
Did anyone get the premium water 26839 by chance to sign off on? I didn't see that one in my
I did.
folder. You did? Okay,
Yeah.
great. Then I have nothing.
Do I have a motion to approve if there's no changes?
Most time I see it.
So moved.
Okay,
Moved by Paul, seconded by
I'll second.
Nicole. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item of business is the disconnects. So I know we talked about this before a little bit, and was gonna bring it up last week, our last meeting, but I wasn't here. What I think we should do with these, and I know I've talked to Sarah a little bit about it, is that we need to come up with a better plan of how we're going to make sure that these payments are gonna get paid. So if we could, if JR is willing to make a simple draft saying, X person, a resident is delinquent by X amount and is going to pay $50 a month for the next 6 months to pay off the delinquent part and then stay current. Otherwise, their power would be shut off or something similar. Does that seem, and that way it's in writing that they can fill out. We have it in writing. There's no hearsay. And hopefully, because I think we're not doing justice to anybody by allowing them to keep being delinquent more and more and more, because it's just, if they're paying $200, but yet their new bill is $600, well, that doesn't get us anywhere.
Would that be for just the chronic ones?
Anybody that would come in, and I would say, so, you know.
So anybody that would want to do like a payment plan?
Correct. You know, because we've been doing that.
Mhm.
We've allowed people to pay a little bit. I think this is just a paper trail of making sure that it's done and we know what they're doing. And that then the office can say, well, you came in on X date and said, I would pay this amount. And if there was another circumstance that come in, you could redo just so it's there. Is that something you guys think we should do?
So say they sign the, like the, not really a contract, but if they didn't follow up on their end, would there be like a clause in there?
Correct, then the clause would be that we would shut their power off. Or water or sewer or whatever. That's why I'm looking for JR to be the expert on this, if you're able to do that.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Is that something that everybody would like to see done?
Yes.
What's the guy's thought, or everybody's thoughts on setting a dollar amount that we let a person get delinquent to, and just having, it'll vary, I know, by businesses to residential.
Well, I don't think it's, because we go delinquent by if you're two payments behind, so it's a payments behind, not necessarily.
Okay.
But I was, saying, let's say, if you look at number one, they're $4,000 behind, so they could have a payment plan on the $4,000, and maybe they wouldn't have to pay anything today, but they have to make whatever's the current bill, and other further current bills have to say current. They can't fall behind anymore.
Yeah, that's my thought. So that it's not constant and continuing all the time.
Right, and that was my thought, is if we can help them when they got delinquent, get them on a payment plan for the delinquent part, but they still have to come
Stay
back
current.
and be current on their current bills. And remind them that we have the payment plans that are available to spread it out if they want to do that. Right.
I think those were set up just for off-peak heat originally. Not that you can't do that, but the payment plan, my understanding was that it's just for customers that have dual fuel. The other, you can just pay an automatic payment every month and not sign up for, but originally that's what it was set up.
The budgeted?
The
one?
budget was set up for off-peak heat.
But it's been used by everybody or whoever, is that, I assume?
I don't know who's using it, who's they're allowing.
either.
You know, I haven't kept up in the loop, but originally that's what it was set up for.
I think this is a little different, though. This is more to get their bills caught up.
Right.
No, I know.
But I'm saying, just to remind them that there is the option there that they could do the budget plan. Unless we haven't done that. I assumed it was, because there isn't that many that have off-peak heat.
Yeah, I guess I don't, I'm not sure, but I'm just some history there. That's what it was, what it was set up for.
Just when I looked through some of the, there was less than 50, maybe
Yeah,
even
okay.
40 the last.
And I was told one time, well, you don't have to go on the budget play, you can just automatically pay so much a month, but if your bill goes below, if your monthly payment you're automatically paying doesn't take care of your bill, then you're gonna get a
Right,
fine, whereas in budget pay you won't.
right. Should we have a motion, or we all agree to that, or how should we?
I think JR should work something up and look at it at the next meeting.
Which is fine, I'm just saying, do we need a motion to say that we want him to do that? Or are you guys all in agreement that just asking him to do that until the next meeting?
I guess I'm in agreement. That, you know.
Okay. Everybody else? All right. That is fine.
If
I
we
just
don't-
want to
If we
check.
don't make a motion, we don't have to pay them, so. Because we'll say,
Except if we don't pay our bill, he'll send us the collections.
Two can play, two can play that game.
They'll set us up on a payment plan.
And all of them got sent to the county, correct? The ones that were approved at the last meeting?
Yep, the ones that were approved at the last meeting were sent to the county already.
Okay. Did you, I know we had the names, but did we ever have a dollar amount of which ones everybody had? Just so we were aware of it.
I
you
have
want-
it in a letter. I have
you
a
wanna
letter to
just
the
send it-
county. I can send it to everyone.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions on the disconnects and bills? If not, do I have a motion to approve the disconnects?
So moved.
Moved by Paul, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Jason. Any other discussion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. Nicole?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
And a yes for me. Motion carries. Next item is City Commissioners Report. Nicole, we'll start with you.
Okay. From the airport side, the Airport Authority has accepted the resignation of Justin Kleckner and nominated Donnie Hanson to fill out Justin's term that expires on December 31st of 2025. And Kyle Clapper has been moved to chairman. And then I have nothing on sewer, and I believe we have an update, so we'll wait for that on the water. And that's all I have.
Okay. Jason?
Nothing on the cemetery, just on the law enforcement side. Everybody is aware that Ray Weber retired last week, and I just, from the city, would like, for the amount of years that he's done for us, I would just like to have him recognized and thank him for all of his time and service that he's given to our city. It's very rare nowadays to have an officer that hangs around a small town as long as he did, and so I would just like to thank him for all of his years to the city of Hillsboro, and I hope you enjoy your retirement, sir.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you, Ray, for all your years, and now you can finally engrave on that gun we got for you, when your final retirement date was. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right, Paul?
On beautification, we did have a meeting last week, and we talked about the different tickets that are out there. We'll be doing more about them later. We were hoping that, I know that Dave said a few people had talked to him about maybe potential things that we can do in Railroad Park. Nobody did show up, so we're hoping that people would attend that meeting and kind of give us their opinion on what we should or shouldn't do over there. I hope that if you have ideas or don't want to do anything, either way, that we hear from you. Our beautification meetings are the second Monday of every month. So if you have any input, we'd sure like to hear that. Same is kind of true on the Merrill project. A lot of people have been asking about the project, what happened with that. Nothing's really happened with it, except for the fact that we haven't really had anybody step up to take the lead on doing it. So if you're that artsy person that likes that kind of stuff, we just need somebody to step up and take the lead on it that's familiar with that kind of work. So neither one of them are dead. We just need somebody to kind of work with them and lead that project. So on the electrical side, we are working on a new plan for the load controls. When we get that completed, we'll fill in people on that. So as of right now, if you have any questions or concerns on the load control, probably be best to just call the city, and then they'll get you on a list, and so that they're aware that you're trying to get yours done, but they're not doing it right now. So if you can call the city and get your name on that list, so we know that you're aware of it. From what I understand, I was out of town, but the electricity was off on Saturday and Sunday, so thanks, Jim, for getting everything up and running again in a timely fashion. I think more and more people, we almost need electricity to go out more often, so people realize we do have generators. How many people asking if we have generators after all these years? But I think it's important that people realize that they don't just flip a switch and the generators come on. There's a process to it, and from talking to Jim, it's probably anywhere from an hour, 45 minutes to an hour or better under ideal circumstances to get that process going. So don't get excited if you lose electricity for a while. It takes them a while to survey the situation and see if they can even run them. So thanks again, Jim, to you and your crew for taking care of that. On HEDC, we have a meeting on Monday, August 28th. If anyone has any concerns or questions they want me to talk to at the HEDC meeting, to please be sure to get a hold of me. One thing kind of on the beautification side, I'll backtrack a little bit, and I did mention this to Dave because he has the streets. I was wondering if we could do something, or we could get Jim to get estimates for some curb and gutter work on Main here, on South Main, right across Railroad Track and across from the main business district down there, and then also right on First going northwest there's a little spot there on the east side. I'd like to see if we can get if we could, I don't know if they'd want a motion or how you want to do that, to get a motion just to get bids and get an estimate on what we'd be looking at to do those parts, because they're in pretty bad shape and we won't be looking at doing a street project in the next year. So I'd like to see or hear what other people's opinions on that, to do something with that, just because they don't look good, and it's our main downtown area. We got a lot of people that do things. Obviously, the brewery over there, they're not going to probably do anything with that curb, with that boulevard, as long as that curb's all busted up, because any work they do, they're just going to rip it back up again when they do the curb and gutters. So I'd like to see if we can move forward with some of that stuff here, and especially in our business district. So I don't know, Levi, if we need to make a motion or have a motion to have that done, or if we can just have him get some bids on it.
Paul, I had someone come in today. Hostage, we're in the area. He came in today and he was just going to look at it and just give us a general idea per foot what we're up against before we, and then at that point, you guys can make a decision if you want to go out and get some bids.
And that's all we just want to know, are we talking 50,000 or 500,000?
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
That's
so,
what I asked for. It
so-
isn't going to be exact, but it's going to give us an idea of what it would cost, so.
yeah.
15 feet a year, or 50 feet a year, whatever
Yeah.
we can plan for. Then we can do so much every year.
I called a couple contract guys, and of course, they wanted to know how much we were gonna do. And were we gonna asphalt it after this and that? And they wanna come in with everything ripped out, set up their machine and pour and leave again. And we don't have the time and the manpower to, especially downtown on Main Street, to rip everything apart. So we need to get a full package where someone will come in and, take everything out, remove it, and then put everything back the way it was, so.
And that's all I have, yeah.
Okay. Dave?
The only thing I have is on the fire department end, that our new rescue truck is in South Dakota, and they'll be switching the rescue body from the old truck, and it'll be probably a month and a half or so when we'll probably get that back. And then they're planning to start working on a new grass attack unit after that. And that's all I have.
Okay. All of you should have seen the email, and hopefully that clears up some things from last meeting. I did get along with the light grant, I also looked to see what it would cost, just to estimates, no fancy bids, no nothing, to see where we were at to put air conditioning in and use that same grant that for the lights, which it would be covered. And we could do that possibly for less than 60,000 total, which we could get half of that paid for. If that is something that you guys would like to, and that was a heating and AC unit together. The only requirements were, one, we have to make sure that it is paid off within 10 years, which our lights, I think it was 2 years or something, 3 years, something like that. It was fairly simple. And then we also have to have a historical survey done, which that one was done for the lights and we passed on that. So that twofold, if you guys are thinking about something we want to do for the Armory in the budget for AC heating, that'd be something to think about that we could add in for the next year. And then the lights, that package is just about ready to go out for the grant. I just need one last thing for Jim to sign off on, and then that can be sent in. But the Historical Society signed off because their building is older than 50 years old. They just had to make sure.
Did you ever think about changing the outside lights too on that building?
I didn't. I hadn't even.
They gotta be they're the old style lights too.
The only reason I looked at these is because there was 8 or 10 of them out, and it's hard to get those bulbs.
Right.
So.
I think it's definitely worth looking at getting some numbers, and,
Okay.
because I know that a lot of people,
I don't want to give an exact number because I don't want to, one contractor has given some numbers, so I don't want to give out, divulge what it was, and then everybody else gets to look and undercut, so. I also want to let everybody know that a couple weeks ago, after Ashley put in a resignation, I did reach out to Ide Bailey, and there was a couple of things that need to be turned in, and everything seems to be moving. They'll do a lot of work on the back end until we get into that October time range when they'll be freed up to start doing the 3 years all in one. So be ready. On the beautification, one of the other things that Paul forgot to mention is we had a comment asking about washing the building and seeing if we get this building and City Hall possibly pressure washed at some point. I'll let you take care of that.
You have buildings? What are you doing this week?
And, let's see, we did have the public hearing for the Riverwalk specials, and there was no contestation by anyone. I don't believe there was any public that did show up for that. I don't even think JR came. John was there, but JR. So that process is moving forward, and down below you'll see that we have to set the interest rate, which is one of the next steps to make sure that we can keep moving forward on the process so that Sarah can get the special sent out to the county in time. We had a total of 13 applications for the auditor position, and the group sat down and narrowed it down to 4 individuals. They are Casey Ingermont, which is an auditor with the city of Harwood currently. Emily Tinkham, which is a city councilman, or mayor actually, over in Fisher. And she's also has an accounting degree, or working on finishing her accounting degree, and then a government auditor with a business out of the northern Minnesota area. We also have Melody Huso, who is from Nevada. She has a lot of, or newer grad, but has quite a bit of different experience, both in the government side, federal training for that. But she has a bachelor's in general business with minors in accounting and economics. And then we also have I gotta find it. No, that's not the one. There it is. Dominic Kublak, who is a auditor with Noridian currently, and has different experience and has a couple degrees in Bachelor's of Arts in accounting, and is a certified internal auditor. There was one other that came in, and I reached out to the team because it came out actually the night after the group sat down and found the 4. It's in the packet as well, if you guys have that link. His name is David Von Boven. He is a staff accountant currently with the North Dakota Army National Guard. Full-time, he's been a cost accountant, budget analyst, and has his MBA in business management with concentration in management. And then he's had 12 MBA accounting credits. So I'm looking at setting those up for you guys to interview. Those were the 4 recommendations. The dates that I had looked at for them was Wednesday, August 30th from 6 to 8 p.m. Monday, if you want to, right? Monday, September 4th from 5 to 7 p.m. Thursday, September 7th from 6 to 8. And Tuesday, September 12th from 6 to 8. I know it's Labor Day, but I hoped we could get some people in that night. Tuesday, September 12th, from 6 to 8. We have a couple on the 7th that would like to do it, and one on the 30th. I just threw those out with them, but just wanted to check with your guys' schedule to see how it would fit.
What was the time on the 30th?
6 to 8. All of them are 6 to 8 except for Labor Day. I moved that back to 5. I thought we could maybe go a little bit earlier that day, possibly.
What was the third date?
September 7th, Thursday, September 7th.
And these are the 4 dates, like to choose one out of the 4 or a couple that work?
Couple that would work, and hopefully we can make it work for everybody. 5 to 7.
Okay, let me check. I know.
And I know some will be gone, that's why I was trying to figure out dates that maybe would work for everybody, unless you're gone for a couple weeks then.
I'm gone September 2nd through the 12th. But I might be able to call in on the 4th, and I might be back in time on the 12th.
And we could do remote in where, make
That's
sure
what
we
I'm
set
thinking I might
in.
have to do. I don't know if I'm on a plane or what on the 12th. Look that up here.
So Nicole's gone the 4th through the 12th, possibly.
Yeah, so I'm in the
Yep.
Minneapolis airport. I arrive at 5:09 PM on the 12th, so I should be able to call in on that one.
Okay. So the 12th would work, and the 4th would work?
Yep, and the 30th for sure.
So look, Nicole is 30th, 4th, and 12th. Anybody else have any dates that don't work or do work?
All of them would work for me except for the 7th.
Okay. Jason is the same as Nicole. Paul?
I could probably make them all.
Okay. Dave?
The 4th I can't make, I know that.
Okay. So the 30th and the 12th is where I'll try to schedule them around.
Okay.
That would work for me.
And I'll let you know and when they are, and even if you or somebody can't make it, we'll record it so that it's there. Is that correct, JR? We still have to record it if it's interviews? Okay. And it's a special meeting. Because we won't make a decision during the meetings, or during those decisions, but we could discuss afterwards, so I suppose we'd have to have a special meeting.
It wouldn't be like live, would
There's no reason that we couldn't.
Okay.
With that, I also did send them a copy of a couple of our budget forms, one from the beginning and one from the end, which would be this sheet. And then I also sent them a copy of the full one, so it'd be like this, from a certain date, which I'll put it in the packets when we do the interviews, so that, part of it was that for them to review and to look at and see if there's any questions that we may ask them of that. The one thing that I would ask that you guys do is come up with at least five, not 5, how many questions we would like each of you to ask for each person, and we make sure that we stick to those for everybody, but you could always go outside of those. But that way Jason would ask the same questions of all 4 individuals, Dave would ask the same questions for all 4 individuals. I don't know if that's something that you want to do tonight, decide, or you can just come up with your 4 and 5 or whatever we decide on that you would like to ask to make sure that, and then send to the group to make sure nobody doubles up. So the first one that sends to the group gets the best questions.
Are you talking 5 from each person?
Yes.
Okay, I have 20 right here, so I did my
Okay,
homework.
narrow it down to 5. Pass.
Pass it on.
Then one of us has to find 5. Maybe we just want to go those 20 and we find 5 others. What are your questions?
What is your favorite thing about your current role? What do you consider to be your top strength and top weakness, and why? How would a colleague describe you? Basic questions, I think.
Okay. Do you want to send those to the group and then we'll...
Yep, I can do that.
But Nicole had brought that up just to make sure that we're all asking the same questions and we're asking the same questions of everybody, so. The one, I believe, we'll be doing a remote in, unless we're planning to fly him up, but I didn't think we would do that, so I thought a remote in would be the best option, so. I have not gotten confirmation on one of them. The rest I'm still reaching out on the references. The ones that I have talked to so far have been good. Some minor things that we can talk about when we get into that discussion. I don't want to give you any preconceived notions before going into it. Questions on that? I do want to thank publicly Paula Suda and Mark Forseth and Jim Murphy and Nicole and Sarah for helping with, and Nicole was there too. Yes, I was right. For helping with narrowing down those 13 applications that we had. I had threw out a couple that didn't respond back, or one of them I didn't think that we would have the time to try to work with getting a visa and getting them into country. So, but we did get quite a few applications, so I was appreciative of that. Let's see. On the financial side, I have been working on the budget a little bit more in depth, trying to figure out some things. So if you have any thoughts, concerns, questions on it, please send them my way so that I can get those fixed and changed before our October deadline. October 10th. Sarah will attest that I send late emails sometimes getting questions, trying to get this done. Okay. I think that is it. Double check. Oh, there was one other thing. The one other thing that was brought up that somebody asked about was you can thank the school for painting the curbs, because now it was brought up asking if we could paint all the curbs. They said it makes the city look really nice. So I don't know if that's something that we want to look at. Seeing if we can find somebody or start in one section or however. Not something you have to decide on, but I just wanted to pass that along. Next item is gym.
We used to take care of that, but the school took it over. So, I don't know if you want to start again, but.
I think they were referring to the whole town. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They weren't referring just to the school.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just have one thing. We would like to pour some concrete down at the shop. Our addition we put up 2 years ago that has 2 overhead doors, and we still have the gravel in front of those. We would like to pour up in front of one of those. we would do the labor, the concrete and rebar come to $6,000, and then we moved and rebuilt the sand and salt bunker, and instead of having the gravel under that, we'd like to put concrete under that too. And then hopefully budget next year for the second door and then a canopy or a lean-to cover over the sand and salt to keep the moisture somewhat out of it. So 6,000 for in front of the door, and then approximately 1,800 for the sand and salt bunker. So what I'm asking for is say up to $8,000 to pour concrete.
What do you, not to get off, but how much do you think what you want to do next year is about?
Would be another, unless concrete goes, and metal there all, so I would say probably the same thing next year.
So even if I put 10 down, that would be, cover us if something happened.
But time permitting, we would like to do some of it this fall before winter hits.
How big? How big? How big a pad?
The one in front of the door is 26 by 46, and the bunker is approximately 19 square.
Questions, or do I have a motion to approve?
Where would it come from, Sarah?
Where would it come from?
Yeah, the money.
General fund?
No.
I'm not the auditor.
You just play them on TV.
It's the building's used for equipment storage, electric and
We'd have-
street, all four of them.
Just put them before all four, okay.
The salt sand is for the streets, so
Yeah,
Can
that's,
we-
Sound all right, Levi? Split them?
I mean, we can, and I don't have an issue with that. Just remember that our street department is $279,000 negative. I think we could take it out of electrical and water would be your two that have funds in it to cover it. If we split it, we're gonna be transferring back in, so. Because remember, sewer is 689.
well, I don't have any problem with it if we can make it work as far as the money goes.
And I think you could split, like I said, you could split it between water and sewer or water and electrical, and we would be fine. I know Paul's very sticky on his electrical fund.
I'm tough on that, so. But I'll give you this one.
Is that a motion, Paul?
That's a motion.
Paul makes the motion to
There's
approve.
nothing else to start the conversation, right?
Since you're
I'll
grabbing
second
from,
it.
oh, I was gonna say.
Seconded by Dave to take it out of the water and sewer our water and electrical department. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. Paul?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes,
And a yes for me. Motion carries.
You won't have any gravel to travel out of the shop now.
you need some?
It's just amazing how that tracks in there, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you. I guess that's it. Just, I see in news business, we've been looking for some more help. So if anybody would like to volunteer the day we pour, well, we wouldn't turn you down. So. That's all I have.
Thank you, Jim. JR, do you have anything?
Yeah.
Sorry. That was actually a reference calling back, so. Sarah?
The only thing I had was, the only thing I had was, to let you know that those accounts that were agreed upon were sent to the county to be assessed on the taxes. The only other thing was, I was asked by the office to bring up the North Dakota League of Cities annual conference that is coming up on Wednesday, September 20th. I guess Wednesday, September 20th is the elected officials training, and then the rest of the conference starts Wednesday night through Friday, September 22nd. And it's a great training opportunity for everyone, all the commissioners as well. And then I guess asking for the opportunity to either myself or Abby go. I'm not sure if we'll have a city auditor by that point. And that's all I have.
You can add me to that list too.
Paul, you're
Yeah, I want to go.
Okay.
She was supposed to tell you that, she didn't tell you that?
Yeah, she told me. And then there's a notice on that email that she sent out. First-time attendees can receive a complimentary registration to attend. So they have to do the NDERF part of the conference to be able to attend, get that complimentary registration enrolled.
And the only thing that I had talked to Sarah about and said, it's a great opportunity to go. I just don't know if this year is the best option to send her, being that we are going to be down a person trying to catch up. We have budgets, everything to get in. So not saying that she couldn't go. It's just maybe next year we should look at, not this year. Because it is 3 days that they would be out.
I could go up there like Wednesday night, be gone like Thursday and Friday, but, because I wouldn't do the elected, or Abby or I wouldn't do the elected officials training, which would be on Wednesday. But it is all up to you guys.
That was my thought on it, but I told her that she could ask the commission.
Has Abby, since she's kind of new, has she been to any of these yet?
No, she has not.
Okay.
And the first time I went, I mean, I didn't know much about city government, and I did learn quite a bit at that first spring conference. I did talk to Abby, and she wouldn't mind going by herself. I know it'd be a little overwhelming for her. That was one thing I brought up, but she said she likes training events, and she doesn't mind traveling, so.
Anybody have any thoughts or concerns? But Paul, you did say you wanted to go.
Yes.
Anybody else that would like to go? It's in Bismarck, I believe.
Yep. At the Civic Center.
I just get, from my perspective, Paul's going, and I know Ashley's mentioned in the past with trainings that there's a lot of information and not only one person can conquer that. But for me, I feel like Abby's fairly new, so for me, I wouldn't mind seeing her go to get that done, since we do have budget coming up and everything else, and then more of an opportunity next year for you to be able to circle
Yep.
back into that next year.
Yeah, I agree.
But for someone to
Mhm.
kind of keep the office with their training up to date.
I guess I think training is a good thing for everybody, but I think with Abby being new, I think, and Ashley isn't in the office now, correct?
No, but she'll be done on Friday.
Okay. So I think you're the kind of the one with the most experience there. I think maybe it'd be better to hold off this year.
Okay.
Anybody else? Jason, Paul?
I think I'd agree with Nicole. If we did send one right now, it'd be better if it was Abby. Just because we need your experience.
We need you, Sarah, we need you.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you want to send Abby, I'd be comfortable with that, but you know how the office runs,
Yeah, no,
Sarah, and
Yep, I agree.
the way that everything
want-
is now, and the budget and everything, yeah.
No, I think Abby could learn a lot. That's why I recommend that she goes.
Okay, are we fine with sending Abby? Okay, all right. Everybody's in agreement with that? Anything else, Sarah?
Nope, that's all I have.
Anything else from the Sheriff's Office?
No, sir.
Okay. Steve? 2 meetings in a row.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep it short. The main thing that I was here for was a pay app for the water and sewer project. They got a lot of pipe in the ground this last month. So this pay app is for $317,025.45. This will bring us above our loan, and then it'll let us tap into the grant money. So now that once we get this pay app in, we can work towards getting them closed.
Do we have you guys or worked, because I know there was quite a bit, have we figured out on a closing date for that? Because I know they wanted to do it sooner than later.
I don't remember what date was chose.
I couldn't remember if there was a date or not. But, and then do we need authorized, JR, do we have to authorize, or should we authorize tonight to make sure we can sign off on that?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I know we were waiting to pay that, and I have to look and see. I thought we had a date set, but bear with me.
And then we should probably make sure that it's Sarah's name on there for now instead of Ashley. Any questions on the pay app? Do I have a motion then to approve the pay app to Breidenbach Construction?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved by Dave, seconded by Jason. Any other discussion?
What does that leave then?
So what we have left now is,
150?
for actual work, what we have left is, they made the connection onto the existing line today. Right now, they're down there working on switching the pool over to the new line. They're waiting on some parts, so they'll finish it tonight or tomorrow. So then the pool will be switched over to the new line, and then we're gonna have to wait a couple weeks before we move the pond drain down, so we can move the outfall into the pond. In the meantime, we push to have them start cleaning up and do some cleanup and seeding and stuff. There is some money left, so what we were kind of waiting on was, once we get all done with construction, we'll see what kind of money we have left. You guys have been paying the engineering fees and the attorney fees out of your own budget to date, so once we get down to the end, we can roll that into the grant money and give reimbursed for that.
That'd be a good deal.
Okay. So I have a motion to approve the pay app. Is there any other questions? Dave?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
And a yes for me. Motion carries. And then I'd entertain a motion for the loan closing for me, and I assume I have to sign and Sarah would sign, correct, JR? Does that sound right? So authorizing us to sign off on the loan closing. Not everybody at once.
Go ahead, Jason.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second? Nicole?
I'll second.
Moved by Jason, second by Nicole to approve myself and Sarah to sign off on the loan closing. Is there any other discussion? Paul?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
And a yes for me. Motion carries.
The stormwater master plan, we're still working on alternatives for repairs, what the fixes would be. Last week, we submitted our final set of plans to DOT for the sidewalk connecting on the interstate, and they're looking at them, so we'll get them signed, and we're hoping for a closing date in November for that. I have a printed copy here for Dave. You guys can come see Dave if you want to see. I've showed you the routes before, I guess, where it's going to go, it's just the details and stuff on it. So we're going with concrete for that. We gave that update, I gave that update 2 weeks ago. So that's all I had.
Okay. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
On the BC tickets, I think we're moving forward on most of them. Some of them have actually, that now have went to court, have started to clean up. On the Oster property, I'm trying to get everything lined up from a container and people and all that so that we can do it at once and get it done. That is harder than you think it is. All right. Any questions on that? Anything on the policy handbook? Did we talk about it all last meeting?
Nope. we did
No.
not.
At this point, anybody else have any changes, or maybe we need to revisit? We've pushed this off so long, I've forgotten what.
Yeah.
I think the last where we were at was Ashley had introduced her comments and questions in there, and I think Jim was gone, so we were going to wait
Oh,
to
yes.
see if him and some of the staff had a chance to look at it for any questions and comments. I think that's where we stopped.
Jim, have you guys had a look at it?
Probably not.
Sarah, can you print off several copies for him today?
Yeah, I'll just have them rifle through that, and then hopefully the next meeting we'll have some completion on that.
Okay, thank you. Jason, do you have any more on for the cemetery lot transfer?
I don't, I guess I think it's just gonna come down to what we feel we should do as a commission.
And what policy we want to set so that everybody,
Mhm.
I think there's two ways that we could do it. We could sell new lots to the person and say that we would advertise that their lots are for sale. Would be one way to do it, but we wouldn't actually take them over. Or the other option, we could buy it back at the price that it was paid for. Which I realize is not that much, but it's for us to sell those lots, and like Jim said, there hasn't been anybody over there, so we haven't been selling lots in there.
No, I agree, just if they want lots, if they want to go to the other cemetery, then they pay whatever that cost is, and whatever they do with the other ones, like you said, we can tell people they're available, but that's all we can do. They can show them as available.
Does that sound, do we want to make a motion as that, and that would be the policy from now forward on? Does that make sense? I know it's not the answer they were looking for, but that we would, they can buy a new lot and we would advertise, or we would, anybody coming in, we can say, there's lots available over here for their price that they would set.
Price that the owners.
Correct.
And then they could handle the selling of their lot, and
We would just, I would assume we'd do the deed transfer.
yep.
I don't think we need to advertise, because
Well, like if somebody comes in.
looking
Yeah,
for a lot, you
somebody's
can say,
looking for-
there's these, or there's these, and these are this price, and the owner of these is selling.
If they go 250, that's a lot of money, and then say, well, have I got the deal for you?
Is that what,
Did you need a motion for that?
I need a motion.
Okay.
I can't make the
Okay,
motion.
so I didn't know if we did, we got talking so much, I didn't know we even had a motion, that we didn't make one.
We didn't make a motion yet.
So I'll make that motion that, that moving forward, that they can purchase lots at the regular price, and theirs, we would let people know that they're available if they want us to. And that would be kind of the norm going forward, that we could do that, so.
I'll second that.
Moved by Paul, seconded by Jason. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. Nicole?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes,
And a yes for me. Motion carries. Next item is accepting the resignation of Laverne Suker.
I'll make the motion to accept the resignation of Laverne.
Is there a second?
I'll second it. I'd like to thank him for his time at the city.
I would too. We're unfortunate, and I want to thank him for the time he spent helping us. 110% all time. It's just a really good guy. It's too bad, but thanks for.
Properly moved and seconded. Again, thank you, Laverne, for your time, and I've never gotten so many comments from somebody so new. Any other discussion? Paul?
yes,
Nicole?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
And a yes for me, with regrets. Motion carries. With that, to approve that we post full-time public works position,
I'll make the motion.
is there a second?
I will second.
Moved by Dave, seconded by Nicole to post for the public works position. Is there any other discussion?
what's the starting on that, starting wage on that? You guys know off the top of your head?
Is it 19?
Is it 19?
18, 19?
I want to say 19.
1925
I think you started Vern more than that because of his
Experience.
experience. Yeah. So it'd be 1925 depending on experience type of thing, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, unless you
I
want
think
to,
Brian started like less than
I want to say it was 18.
unless you want to change that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's 18, if I remember right.
We, when we had
18 and then 75 cents.
that last position, Vern was the only applicant, so.
I think we just posted whatever's in the handbook for now, and then if we do need to adjust it because of experience, you can just let us know.
Would you like me to post it on Indeed and LinkedIn like I did for the auditing position?
I don't know why not, we only had one last time, so I don't know
Okay.
where else we're gonna draw them from.
And then I'll just forward them on to you, Jim.
Say, well, what are you gonna do now?
Indeed and LinkedIn.
I'm sorry?
Indeed and LinkedIn are two job service.
The two
type-
platforms.
Oh,
Indeed
platform.
Okay.
And LinkedIn is what he's saying.
Okay.
Plus
I'll
you'll do
just-
the local papers and the state or
Right.
the
Right, the same as we did everything else. But the
job
diff-
service, yeah.
The only thing difference that we did from the past is what we added on to Indeed and LinkedIn,
Right.
which seemed, and on the last position, on the auditor's position, all but two came from Indeed or LinkedIn.
And then that's just to post the job, and then
It's
if
just
they
to
want
post.
the requirements and that, then they'll.
Yep, whatever, when Sarah gets the job description or Abby gets it all posted out, take
Okay,
that and add it
yeah.
on to there, and then I just forward it on.
We have that, I'll just use the same one we had last year, for Vernon.
Yeah, I can send you that, what we used last year.
Yep. Okay. It's been probably moved and seconded. Is there any other discussion? Jason?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes?
Dave?
Yes,
Paul?
Yes.
And a yes for me. Motion carries. Next item is the interest rate for Riverwalk. The one thing that we have to set is the interest that if a person doesn't pay off their specials, what they would pay yearly. We can go up to 1% over what our interest rate is, or 1.5%. I think it's, yeah, it's 1. But I talked with JR and John and the committee, and they felt that 3% would be a reasonable percent for them. Try to keep it as low as we can for that development. And we have to have that set so that if anybody wanted to pay off their specials right away, they wouldn't incur that interest. So I think there was a September deadline on that. So I would entertain a motion for a 3% rate, interest rate for the Riverwalk specials.
So moved.
Moved by Paul, is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Jason. Any other discussion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. Dave?
yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
And a yes for me, motion carries. Only by happenstance did I realize that, because the school asked about who we had for snow contract, and I realized that our snow contract is up this year. So we need to advertise for that. And if we want to do the mowing at the same time, or if you want to do it at different. But,
Is the mowing up now, is that? what you're
yep,
saying?
this season, it's up this season, so.
Well, we definitely need to do the snowing now.
Do I have a motion then to open up for those two bids?
I'll make the motion.
Moved by Dave, is it second?
Second.
Seconded by Nicole to open up for bids on the snow and grass out at the cemetery. And the snow is for the armory and this building, correct? City Hall, yeah.
2 years.
2 years is what we
Years,
had.
yeah.
Any other discussion? Set the date for, should we say the 18th? Open up on the 18th of September? Bids are due by, yep. Or, well, that's when we'll open them, so whatever. That's our meeting date, so I suppose have them in by 4 o'clock on the 18th or whatever you publish, but. Any other discussion? Paul?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Yes for me, motion carries. And I forgot, there was one other thing that I forgot to bring up too. I apologize. And this is more of an informational thing that I was looking at. Jim Murphy brought to my attention there is a grant available through the North Dakota Department of Ag for an ag infrastructure grant, which could be used for electrical, water, sewer, for any secondary ag businesses along with roads. So I am looking at to see about the possibility if the grant would work for Bedecker Drive, that frontage road, and then Caledonia Avenue. So we could possibly use that to repave those. That is up to 1.25 million on the electrical, or on the road. And then it's up to 300,000 on electrical, water, and sewer. And it's an 80-20, so we would be responsible for 20%. As long as you guys are okay with me keep working on that.
Well, you'd be foolish not to work on it. You know? Yeah, I would say go.
Yep.
Okay. We may have a little bit of a road, but I'll keep working on it, so. Anything else?
Yeah, did you, that one time we talked about the corner of the armor is starting to fall out. Did you have somebody working on that?
He did fix this. I have yet to go over and look to see if he
Okay,
fixed the other
it's
one.
right there by the back, the storage
Right.
room door. It's
I drove by it, but I keep forgetting to look at it.
in the
But I did see him over here fixing.
And the flashing up around the building too is starting to flop in the wind, so.
I noticed that the other day, but I'll let
Okay.
our new guy take care of that. I'll let Jason.
Buildings and grounds, Scott.
So I think that gives you authorization to look for,
It's right on the northeast corner of
Okay.
the building.
but yes, we did approve it. I don't, was it a couple weeks ago? Did you guys see him out here working?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago, I think. Couple days.
So, and I haven't, like I said, I haven't went over on the Army I drove by to drop off cardboard, but I keep forgetting to look. Anybody else have anything else for the good of the order?
Nope.
Any public? Ray? You've sat here enough, you don't want to comment anymore? Okay.
He's retired, he doesn't want to get up and walk to the microphone, right?
Yeah.
We could bring you one.
If not, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Properly moved and seconded. Dave, moved by Dave, seconded by Nicole. All those in favor, say aye.
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 We are adjourned.